On here, and I'm here to show you a deck I used at regionals this weekend. Definitely went well. I went undefeated in Swiss, and I won in top 8. And actually, what we did here was I know some regionals don't go all the way to deciding a winner, but at this one we did. And I ended up losing in the finals to Chaos Dragons, to a friend of mine, John. He played very well. He definitely deserved to win. And yeah, so I just want to show the deck I used. It's probably what you expect. But yeah, here we go. So it was a Gadget deck, but it was not the same one that Robbie Cole used that I'd been testing for him for a while. So there's 6 Gadgets. And yes, I know a year ago and a couple months I did say how much I hated Machinas. Yet, here they are. 3 gear frame in the main. Love this card now. I'm willing to admit I was wrong, and I was wrong, but I still don't like offering. 3 Fortress, and I do play the 1 Cannon. Interesting part about playing Cannon is I play 1, and I draw it every game. So, it's kind of nice to know that I'm going to draw the worst of the Machina monsters in my opening hand. Play 2 Maxi in the main. I cut it down from 3. I was finding I was siding this card out a lot, but when I played it against Windup and I had it, I won those games. So I didn't want to cut it completely. Plus, it works in really good synergy with 2 Tragodia. This card is one of my favorite cards this format. Essentially, the way I look at Tragodia in my deck is with Tragodias at 2 in my deck, and also the 1 Gores I play. Essentially what I'm giving myself is 3 shots to not die. 3 chances for my opponent not to kill me. And so if I can get those 3 chances, at least one of them, maybe I can make a comeback. And the thing with Tragodia is sometimes I drop them off of a max C at 36, 42. But another thing I like about Tragodia is you can just kind of wall up. You can put them down there at 24 when they're attacking with a Thunder King. And now they're scared because you have a Tragodia. Then you can pitch a Gadget, steal the Thunder King, pitch a Gadget, steal something else. And also, I really like Tragodia when I make a push and they drop a Gores. Now, I don't like to lose to Gores, so I try to have an answer for it before I just swing in for a game shot. But definitely Tragodia is a good answer. And so, I really like the card. So that's all the monsters. It is 6 Gadgets, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 monsters. So 6 Gadgets and 3 gear frames are the only normal summons of the deck. But, I mean, that's all you need, really. And I have 3 Typhoons. Last minute change, I decided to go with 3 Typhoons. I was originally playing Limiter, and I cut that. It was a good card, it honestly was, but there were times where when I drew it in the opening hand and it kind of just acted like a shrink. It just basically made my monster bigger for the turn, but then my monster died. And so I just wanted to make my deck a little more consistent in terms of the draws. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. 2 Pot of Duality, obviously. Dark Hole, Heavy. Card I drew a lot this weekend, cannot complain. Definitely not. Is Pot of Avarice. Drew this card all day, all night. I love it. I think it's broken, and it should be banned. It's that good. And there's Monster Reborn. And the 2 spells I decided to try out. 1 I've played before and I really like, so I decided last second to put it in over Starlight Road. And the other, I had been testing and finally I liked it so much in testing that I thought I'd play it. So the first one that I put in over Starlight Road is Soul Taker. I like this card a lot. It gets rid of Thunder King for me. Gets rid of Thunder King. Sorry, it's my Italian. And also gets rid of problem cards like Light Pulsar Dragon and Shining. And my biggest fear this weekend was playing Heroes, so I built my deck to try to combat Heroes. And sure enough, I didn't play any. And I was also really worried about Dark World, so I sided lots for Dark World, and I didn't play against any of that either. So I guess it goes to show you that you can just never be prepared to the max. And the other card I decided to main is Mind Control. Now, I want to tell you that this card was broken, amazing. It was so good, especially against Geargia. But I actually only drew this card one time, and that was in the final match of the day, playing for the winner, and it was against Chaos Dragons. So I can't tell you if Mind Control was good or not. I'm going to keep trying to play it, because it was really good in testing, but I never drew it, and I'm not even lying when I say that. Mathematically, I should have drawn it at least once or twice, but more than I did, but I didn't. And so, I mean, there was a few games I sided it out, like against Inzectors, I sided it out, obviously. But most of the matches, I kept it in. I played a few Geargias, and I played a Burn deck, and Mind Control would have been very helpful against Burn, to move their... It was a weird Burn deck. It was like Stall Burn with Wave Motion Cannons. So I had a few chances to game shot, and I won, but yeah, Mind Control would have been helpful there. So anyways, we'll go on to the next one. Now that's all the spells. And it is, I believe, 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 spells. I'm an idiot. So I have 2 Bottomless Trap Holes, 2 Solemn Warning, 2 Torrential. I went with double Deep Prison. I actually was playing 3D Prison, and I didn't have Mind Control in the deck. But after playing against Geargia and kind of, I want to say going 51-49 in my favor, because I generate advantage that they generate as well, but the Trigodia's put in a lot of work against Geargia. Tragodia is really good against Geargia because you can steal their guys, and that's honestly why I wanted to play Mind Control, but I just didn't draw it against Geargia. It's just making me sad right now, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. I went with double Compulsory Evacuation Device. I mean, card's too good right now. Double Fiendish Chain. Love this card. It gets me out of so many jams. Another really good against Thunder King when I have to deal with a Thunder King and I don't have a Deep Prison or a Soul Taker or a Dark Hole or any of my answers. Mind Control again. I play Fiendish Chain on it and I can get my searches going and then try to generate some pluses. And of course, Solemn Judgment. And that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 traps for a grand total of 42 cards in the deck. So I will now show you my side deck, which didn't put in as much work as I would have liked. I mean, I'm not complaining because I went XO, but I mean, never sided in Kinetic Soldier because I didn't play against any hero or any samurai. I didn't play against Dark World, so DD Crow was only good against the Inzector game that I played. I sided this in a lot, to the point where I almost want to main it. Snowman Eater's too good this format. Sided this in a lot too, actually. This card was very good. Prohibition. Played it against Inzectors. I didn't draw it against Inzectors, but against Stallburn and against Chaos Dragons, I put it in. Against Chaos Dragons, I put it in. My initial reasoning was to call Light Pulsar, but a scenario came up where I had to call Red Eyes just because I knew what was going to happen. So I put in Prohibition. The second Soul Taker. This was one of the best cards in my side deck by far. I honestly wish I had sided one more of it, and I wasn't going to side any. It was a last minute change. I took out Dust Tornado from the side for this card, and it was just amazing. It won me 2 games, and I never, it's been so long since I sided this, I never would have thought I'd be siding it again, but I mean, it moved the Gear Armor out of the way, Gear Armor, and it moved the Spirit Reaper out of the way when I was trying to game shot against Stall. Goes in match, sided in a few times, pretty good card, I liked it. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, love this card, I'm going to side it continuously. I think it's much better than Macro or what's it called? Can't think of the name. Dim Fissure. I like the versatility of Shadow Imprisoning Mirror because I sided in against Inzector, sided in against Dark World, sided in against Gravekeepers. So definitely like Shadow Mirror, and definitely don't want to play Dim Fissure. I mean, Macro's good too for the same reason that Shadow Mirror is good. I love being able to chain it, because chaining a card in response to activation of a Dark World Dealings or I'm not sure what else, like a Spy or a Inzector Dragonfly. I like the idea of chaining versus having a card face up and stunting the opponent's hand to the point where they're not going to play anything until they get the answer. But if you just have a set card and they think that they can play their dealings, their anything they want, you can chain the Shadow Mirror and just really wreck them. And the last card that I sided in was 2 Magic Drains. I really like this card, but I was mainly putting it in for Hero and Dark World. And that didn't work out so well because I didn't play any. So I really didn't side it in except against that Burn guy who was playing Wave Motion Cannons and almost nutted me, but I drew a very timely Heavy Storm. So that is the side deck. And the extra deck is pretty standard. There's a few tech cards in here. We have Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, 2 Gear Gigant X's, if you can see that, 1 Maestro, 1 Fairy King Alverdick, which I used a couple times. I attacked with gadgets for 12 and 13. They would drop Gores on the 13, and I would make Alverdick and lower the Gores in the token so they couldn't kill it. Papal Operative was very good this weekend. Marrowgeist only made it once. It's pretty good. Pearl actually ran over a 2500 Utopia and not Utopia, 2500 2500 Fortress, and he popped my Pearl, but it was my only out to other than crashing with a Utopia at the time. Kachi Kochi Dragon never made it once. Still not sure if I should play it. It seems good, but made Utopia, had Utopia Raid, didn't make it. Roach didn't make it. Shockmaster made it like 4 times, twice in game 1 and 2 against the Burn feller. Big Eye, and the tech card, because I was playing Mind Control, and I never got to use it, but there were times where Tyrus was on the field, and I wish I had Mind Control, hadn't drawn it, but I went with a Gaia Charger. So I could steal their guys and overlay and do nonsense. So that is my Gadget deck. I hope you guys like it. It went XO at the regional, and I lost 1 time in the finals to Chaos Dragons, and to a very good player. And congratulations to him, by the way, again for winning. That's very, very well done, well deserved. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that.